Here's another tutorial on the Art Lucas channel. And today we're going to learn step by step how to draw this Super Saiyan Goku drawing. With an older style, let me know in the comments if you're like me and really prefer this old school style. We've already started with our grid ready, okay? In other words, we halved it here, then halved it again and once more. And that's how you make the grid here. We made this grid with these 8 little squares, alright? You can use other sizes, but this one is enough for us to make our drawing. Let's go then. I'll teach you step by step. Remember, if you want to learn how to draw using any style, any sketch, just check the links I left in the description so you can become my student. So here it's basically about you doing what I'm doing inside each little square and doing it on yours, alright? I teach this sketch much better over in my drawing course. We're going to start with Goku's face, alright? So let's do it little by little here. We've kind of done a bit of his face here. Now guys, I'm going to have to do at least a little bit of his hair. I don't need to finish all of his hair right now, but I do need to at least do this part of his hair that falls in front of his face. Because when we do this part all at once, we'll already have a better kind of a view, right? Hey, how do you say? We'll have an idea of what we're going to do and where we're going to do it on the face once we have this part of the hair ready. So it's difficult. See, I can already do it with these, right? I'm going to make the ear here in the corner. I needed this strand here to make the ear. That's what I'm talking about. We need some parts ready so we can make others, and his ear here is only going to show just a little bit here. Look. I think that since we've already done this part of the hair, we might as well finish the hair, right? Look. I'm going to do this small strand down here first, then I'll do another strand here, a little bigger, look. And now the other one is much bigger. And the other one is even bigger. And here we're going to reach the limit, right? Like making one bigger than the other. Here we stopped, here we do the same thing. Look, start under the ear, making a small strand, come up here, make another strand a little bigger, and then make another one even bigger. Here we'll make one too, look, bigger than this one. If you notice, we make 4 strands, 1, 2, 3, 4, all different sizes, right? Counting from smallest to largest, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to finish, you can just make one right here. But since it's kind of sideways, just a little, but it still is. I'm going to do 2 strands to finish up here. Just because it's kind of sideways. If it were more to the front, I would just do 1 strand, but since it's kind of sideways, I did these 2. Alright guys, now we're going to do his face. I'll just make these 2 little lines here for the neck and let's do the face. So we already have it a bit easier for us to do here. We're going to use this line here as a guide, okay? So we start drawing the eyebrow, and when we reach the line, we just make a little stroke upwards. See that? Draw his eye. The eye won't show up over here anymore, just a little bit of the eyebrow ending up here at the top. Draw the small eye circle here, see? Let's color it black, but when we're coloring the drawing, it'll be green. Here, I'm going to draw a little wrinkle between his eyes, and now guys, look, the line for the next eyebrow and the eye, see, it's going to go right along this strand here, so it's not hard either. Here, look. It's coming here, going down really close, make another part of the eye here, connect it there, make the little circle here, color it black. Okay, it wasn't hard. Let's do the nose. Look, his nose is kind of sideways too. Look, and his mouth right here below. From the nose, a little line under the mouth. We finish the face with a few lines here for our character. Let's do the lower part of our character here. I'll make a little line here too. Alright, so to do the lower part, guys, we're going to do it like this. Look, I'll do it here, okay? See, kind of an outline, right? Here will be the part, right, of his chest, and here the part of the clothes. So since we did this part of the chest, we're going to finish it now. She draws a line down here and another one over here, see? And now come here and draw his chest with one more line here. I think that's it, guys. Let's do this the close to finish it off from here. See, so here is his shoulder, okay? Keep drawing the close down to here on this side. Here it's going to show a little more, see? So I'm going to draw it. A little jagged here in these parts, okay, see? This part got a bit messed up, right? It's hard to understand. I layered it a lot, right? So don't let me make this part too round either. This pencil here, it's really thick. I mean the lead, so if you make a mistake, there's no way to go back. Let's do it here on this side because it's a bit easier to do. His arm look is much easier, see? That's basically it. His arm goes here. It's not hard. But if you compare it to the other one, it's slightly harder. Guys, just a reminder that in my drawing course, I teach you how to shape the muscle part by part so you can make a really cool drawing. His arm was too thin. Okay, here will be the bottom part of his clothes. Look. Okay, so here are those little rips and everything. Here everything will be shadow. That's what we're going to do. When we're coloring, we can leave the drawing like this, just like it is. I think we can already outline this drawing. I'll clean it up, right? I'm basically going to make a tracing to transfer this drawing to another paper. All right, let's go then. Guys, I'm not going to include the outlining part so the video doesn't get too long, and even so, it still ended up being 12 minutes. As you can see, we're going to start with yellow dots, which, as you can see, will be the shadow areas. Because here, our hair is going to be really light, so the light yellow will still be darker, you see? So, then we'll take the yellow and leave all the edges of the hair uncolored in white, because then we'll use this really light yellow, which is what we're using to do the hair. And we're going to go around very lightly, and then we'll have a difference in colors there. I took a darker yellow to reinforce that yellow, but even so, it still turned out light. See, do you get why I want the hair lighter? And then, after everything, we put white on the edges that we had left there without coloring. To finish, the hair looks good on his skin. I'm going to use markers, so I'll do the whole base with a sandier tone, so we take this shade and color all his skin. While it's drying over there, we'll finish up here, and then for sure, once it's dry, we'll get started. For the shadows, I started with a shade that's more cinnamon-like, so we take this shadow and color the whole drawing. This is just the first stage of the shadow. We're going to do and build all the parts that have shadow on his skin with this more cinnamon tone. And then we keep reinforcing, we keep studying where to do each part of the shadow so our drawing makes sense and has coherence about where everything goes. And after that, we start with the second part, which is the more intense shadows, which are in some small areas, as you can see. And then we'll go back with that initial shadow base to do the rest and finish up. And then it gets this more transitional tone, you know, we see a smoother transition between the colors. I colored the eye green and I'm going to start on his clothes now, okay? We're going to start here with blue. This blue is kind of light, but it's still more like cobalt. And after everything, we'll add another layer with a different blue, a darker one. This one is really a dark blue. See? And then we'll mark all the shadows to give some volume here in this part that doesn't have linear. After we finish there, in that part of the chest, we split it. And for the corners of the drawing, which are shadows, just a few, right? Just a few shadows, but they make a big difference in the drawing. Then with the black, I marked the parts that I wanted to emphasize. I used orange for the bottom and green to finish. And basically we finished this bottom part of our drawing, and now we're going to move on to the background. The background is basically two colors, green and yellow. Green in the back part and yellow in the central part. At the end of everything, you'll see that I'll use a white pencil to create an effect there. Kind of like a light coming out around our character. I'll repeat what I did on the left side on the right using the same blue colors, or wait, not blue, right? Green and yellow, as we can see here. We've almost finished our entire drawing. And now we get to that part I mentioned to you, which is to take the white pencil and color around there. to give that extra emphasis I told you about, as if there were a glow around the drawing. Alright, with that we've basically finished our drawing. After everything I outlined it to see if it would look better, and that was the result of our drawing. Personally I loved it, but I want to know what you think, so leave a comment, alright, and that's it.